So this is a continuation of a rust repair video I did on wheel well rust repair. This is a Chevy Silverado or GMC Sierra. But the next step after welding this patch on, the next step you want to do is to knock this, well, first of all I ground this all out. I ground it up far enough so that we have plenty of room to work with the body filler. The next step is to knock this down all the way around below the original surface so that when we fill it, we're not hitting high spots. So I'm just going to whack it, and I can see it dip down. I don't want to go too far, but I don't want to go too shallow so that I have high spots. So you just want to knock it down below the surface. And that should be good right there. After our first coat of Bondo, we'll be able to see if there are any high spots, and then we can knock them down. But in the meantime, I'll mix up some Bondo, and I'll be right back. So now I'm going to mix up some plastic filler and fill this in before we knock this down. So we're just going to mix this up, and I'll mix it up in front of you so you can see how that's done. Now this is quite a bit, and I might have excess left over, but I didn't want to run out on this panel. I wanted to hit it all, get it all in one shot. And then you might be asking, how do you know how far to whack those welds down? How hard should I hit it? How hard should I knock that thing down? Well, you won't know until you're first sanding and a high spot shows up, metal. Once metal comes through, then you got to stop. Alright, that should be good. Now, since I got extra, I'm going to put it on. But I'm going to cheese grade this off, so I don't really care how thick I put it on. Because I'm going to show you a fast way to shape this. A fast way to get it cut down. And I can keep spreading this until it starts to harden up a little bit, then I'm done. And you'll get frustrated sometimes spreading, but with practice, you just keep doing it and you'll get it. And I'm gonna leave that, and I'll be right back. I'll show you how to cheese grade and shape this body filler so that we have minimal dust. Now the key to shaping body filler is having sharp tools. Now this is a cheese grater and it's a Stanley, and you have to have it nice and sharp. Same with your sandpaper. When you sand body filler, you want super sharp, fresh sandpaper, 40 grit or 36 grit. So the way to hold these is I hold them just like this. And I go just like this. You don't want to hold them by the ends. Well, you can if it's comfortable for you, but it seems to work better like this. And you just take it across there like that, and you just start cheese grading off the excess. So that just peels off a ton of Bondo, so that you don't have to breathe all that dust. And there's a body line in here, so I'm just sort of digging that out a little bit. And I'm not pressing down, I'm just letting the blade cut, you know. And I go all over, every different angle. This way, this way, this way, this way, this way, up, this way if I can. high spots yet. We haven't hit any metal, so we're just going to keep going. And this is what you get. Just looks like mozzarella cheese, no dust. So we're just going to keep cheese grading. And I think I'm going to stop right there, and then I'm going to move to a long board and finish this up. Now to sand this, I'm going to use 36 grit or 40. I do feel a low spot right here already, but we'll see where that goes. I have a choice of either medium board, but this might follow. I might want to go with a long air file. I think I'll start with the air file. You could use a hog, and this has 40 grit on it, and that would just do the face. And maybe just touch it in here a little bit. This is a crease. But first I'm going to start out with the long board. Now, as I was sanding, I noticed I had a high spot here, and I got a few welds that popped up. I got a high spot here, and it's low here. So, no big deal. We're going to knock these down, and then we'll have to add a little bit in here and knock this down just to make sure. You know, I can feel it's a little bit high. When they show up real fast, like this little weld right here, you got to knock him down, knock that down, knock this down, this down and this down, we'll mix up some Bondo and fill that in. So I'll be right back. So I tap these down right here, these high spots, and I mixed up another batch of Bondo, and we're just gonna fill these in. Real nice. I'm just going to go real nice and far out here. Sometimes I play around with it too much. It's good. And I had a little spot here, I don't know, thought that was low. And then here. Probably should just leave that, but I got time to mess around with the Bondo. Shouldn't harden too quickly. I'll keep playing with it. And you know, this has to be rounded off yet and then sanded under here, but that's good. We're going to wait for that to harden up a little bit, cheese grade the excess off, and sand it, and I think it's going to be good. So we're going to cheese grade this down. I just bent this so you can see what this actually looks like. I have a little bit of a slant here that I have to worry about, and then a flat that I have to worry about. So it sort of looks like that. So I want to concentrate on not messing up that shape. So I'm just going to take off these ridges right here. That's it. This time when I use the cheese grater, I'm just going to do it real light. I don't want to take off too much, just the ridges from where I spread it. It's a little soft right now, so let me let this harden up a little bit, and I'll be right back. Okay, that's a little bit more firm. Too soft, and it clogs these little openings in the cheese grater. So again, I'm going to go real light this time, just taking off the edges just a little bit, just to eliminate some dust. And that should be good for that. Looks like these will end up coming out. Alright, I'm going to leave that just like that. That's enough cheese grating. And now I'm going to choose this because I don't really need the longboard. I think I got it pretty flat. I'm just filling in these low spots. So we're going to hit it now with this. This is 40 grit, but you can use 36 or 40. Brand new sharp paper, nice and flat. Had to find my mask. So I'm back. Again, this is 40 grit, nice and sharp, on a good flat sanding block. We're just going to go at it. Now remember I told you I had this is a flat area right here. That's all I concentrated on right now. I do have just a little bit of a high spot right here. Then up here now I'm gonna focus on, and then not worry about this. So I'm gonna sand this part, which is this flat part right here. So I'm gonna concentrate on that. Right. I have the board on an angle like this. This is for the flat, this is for the top. And I'm not really pressing hard, I'm just letting the paper do the cutting. Okay, now there's a little bit of a ridge right here, and I'm just going to knock that down now. You know, it's a little sharp. Okay, that's good for the 40 grit or 36 grit. I'm just going to hit it a little bit with some 80. I'm going to DA sand this, you know, with the DA. We're going to feather edge it out a little bit and prime it. Once I get those things set up, I'll be right back. So I had a little high spot right here. I just knocked him down and filled it in. And then I had a little bit of a high spot right here, knocked it down and filled it in. This is still 36 grit. I'm going to DA sand this. I mixed up some primer. Then I'm going to just DA sand this with like 220 out here beyond here, so primer's got something to stick to. You don't want the primer on any shiny metal. And that'll be it. We'll see what it looks like. I don't know what this is going to look like, but we'll see when we get primer on it. Just some 80 grit. I'm going to hit this real quick. Alright, one thing I thought about is that you shouldn't really have any metal showing up right in here. If you have high spots in here, I can guarantee you it's going to be waving around. But if you see any metal spots, you got to knock them down. So let's throw a coat of primer on and see what it looks like. So I think that looks pretty good. Little bit of a high spot here. We're going to block sand this with 120 or probably 120 grit. Block sand it, and then we're going to paint it. So I'll put a link above this video for when I paint it. But I think that rust damage turned out pretty well. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please subscribe to my channel.